Hey everybody, John here, and welcome back to another Rant review. So, a few years ago, back when my channel was kinda new, I did a rant review on an episode of Victorious titled The Breakfast Bunch. Like I said, in this review, my channel was still kinda new, I was still trying to figure things out, so the resulting review was unpolished, probably overly angry, mostly unedited, didn't contain any footage from the episode because I didn't know how to deal with Nickelodeon and the copyright back then, and just a video that I think could be a little better. It also wasn't scripted, I was just going off of notes. But anyway, for a while now I've wanted to do a re-review of the episode, so today I think it's finally time that I give that a shot. Victorious was another Nickelodeon series in the long line of Dan Feetboy Schneider's sitcoms. The series had a fair share of flaws, but overall, I'd say it was decent. It starred Victoria Justice as Tori Vega, a teenage girl attending an arts high school. In season 4, they did an episode titled The Breakfast Bunch, a parody of the 80s classic film The Breakfast Club. I used to hate this episode. Watching it again years later, I would simply call it pretty bad. So let's take a look at the episode and see why that is. This is season 3, episode 2, The Breakfast Bunch. So the episode starts off with an accurate recreation of the opening shots of the original film, while Victoria Justice sings a cover of Don't You Forget About Me. We see the whole cast, except for Tori's sister Trina, entering their school. They reveal they all have Saturday detention for being late to class. One time. If that was how it worked, I would have had detention every Saturday of my childhood. And for some reason, they dress Beck up like John Bender, even though he never plays the role of John Bender. He never acts like him, or talks like him, or says any of his lines. But throughout the whole explanation of why they're here, we get a couple genuinely funny lines.
Yeah, it's not Robbie's fault he has a petite throat.
It's average.
That's a good line delivery from Matt Bennett. We then meet Vice Principal Dickers, played by Robbie Riggle, who very much embraces the absurd jerkishness of the character from the original film. This is also a positive about the episode. Once they get into the library, we get the first of the poorly done parody jokes of the episode. Jade, who at this point is taking on the role of John Bender, accuses Kat of being a vegan and goes on to berate her about it. What is this referencing? In the original film, they berate a character played by Ali Sheedy for being a virgin. So here they're referencing something that a lot of the target audience shouldn't even know what it means. Then you get stuff like Robbie randomly telling Tori that she's so conceited. This makes no sense within the episode's story. It only makes sense if you've seen the original source material. Considering the source material is an R-rated movie from the 80s, a lot of the target audience likely hasn't seen it. A little later, Tori has her sister Trina bring them tacos and put them in Tori's locker. In the original movie, the tacos were an illegal substance. Robbie is for some reason surprised that they're getting tacos despite the fact that this has already been established. The reason he's surprised is because reference. When trying to get back to the library and almost getting caught, Tori takes the heat for them. Once again here, she's playing the role of John Bender. This made more sense for Bender to do in the original Breakfast Club movie, because in that movie, he already had infinite Saturday detention, so it didn't really matter. He had nothing to lose here. Tori just had a few detentions. This could have worked better if the episode was consistent about which Victoria's character represents which Breakfast Club character. So Dickers then catches Tori and takes her to the closet where he scolds her. This scene shows that the people who worked on this episode did admittedly have some talent when it comes to parody. They did a good job here with taking a serious scene from the original film and making it absurd. This kind of parody is called burlesque, as opposed to the kind that is meant to critique a piece of media. A couple scenes later, Andre gets up in the library and starts dancing. This is another direct reference to the Breakfast Club. But the problem is that there's really not much parody here. It just sort of imitates the original scene. The only difference is that in the movie, Andrew did this because of the illegal substance. Here, it's just random. This episode is one that gets progressively worse as it goes along. For the last 10 minutes or so of the episode, we get a lot of scenes that are parodying the scenes of the original movie, the scenes where the characters just kind of sit around and talk in the library. In the episode, this consists of the writers cramming in as many references to the original movie as possible. You're not going to get any of these, once again, if you haven't seen the original movie that they're spoofing. And once again, a lot of the people in the target audience likely haven't. The interesting thing is that Victorious has done parody like this better in the past. For instance, In an April Fool's episode titled April Fool's Blank, they have one scene that spoofs The Wizard of Oz. This works because it's a kids movie and one that everybody knows about. Even if you've never actually seen it, you still know about the basic characters and plot. Everybody knows about Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Wicked Witch. But at this point in the episode we're watching, they basically just start spitting out reference after reference. It makes hardly any sense in the context of the episode. At one point in the episode, they attempt to lampshade this by having Beck say the line, "Did I miss something?" Here's the problem though. Lampshading works when they apply it to small problems, like minor plot holes and inconsistencies. Phineas and Ferb is a show that does this well. A throwaway lampshade joke or two, though, doesn't make up for the fact that nothing happening in this whole scene makes any darn sense. It reminds me of a Seltzer and Freeberg movie. It focuses so much on making references that it forgets to just tell a story on its own. That's a pretty basic rule of making a parody. For instance, how many people have seen the movie Airport? Not a ton of you, I imagine. But plenty of people have seen the movie that spoofs it, Airplane, from the 80s. And most people who watch that movie seem to come out of it having a good time. We then get the final scene parodying the final scene of The Breakfast Club. They spoof the whole thing where the principal reads the paper that they wrote as the teens narrate over it. But here's the thing, in the original movie, that exists because a part of their detention was that they had to write an essay. But Dickers, in this episode, never had them write essay. So, what's he reading? Just some letter? Okay. And then the episode ends with two genuinely funny parody jokes. But overall, The Breakfast Bunch is still pretty bad. If you want to see a better version of something like this, I recommend checking out an episode of Degrassi The Next Generation called Take On Me. It works because the references and homage to The Breakfast Club in this episode are merely a supplement of the story that they tell. Even if you don't know the source material, there's still plenty to appreciate about the episode. Knowing the source material is just an added bonus. So that's all I have for you today, everyone. Thank you all for watching, and if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video around on social media, maybe add to your favorites if you've really liked it, and leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought of the episode and of my review of it. Have a nice day.